Just check and make sure I'm in frame. I'm pretty good. Let's see how long that lasts. Hi, everybody. Beth here to film my newest journal. Meet Priscilla. She is held together with some sari silk and a bullpen that has these pretty beads on it. I did not make this. Either my girlfriend Mimi made it or my mother made it. I think my mom actually did it. She was doing that for a while. She's kind of gotten out of it now, and I need some stuff, so she's going to have to make me some more. So we'll untie it. She has got a lot of, like, tulle and vintage brooches on the front cover. Let me see. I know I measured her before, but I'll measure it again. She is roughly 6 3/4 by 5, give or take. Give or take. Anyway, so that is the front cover. She's got a book plate up here at the top that says Beauty, some vintage buttons. This is a Timmy flashcard with an antique clip on there. We've got down here, we've got the rest of the, like, tulle that I have being held, and then also it's layered with one, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of vintage lace that I got from Brittany at Redeemable Junk some time ago. This is a stamp here. It says vintage. This is a antique safety pin. And then at the top here, you've got some, well, hold up. You got some Timmy jewelry. You got a key all held on to a ball pin. And this came off of some, like, a vintage doily that I just cut. Like, the doily part was still intact, but I cut off all of the edges and coffee dyed them, and that's how that looks, like that. So you open this. She's got 2 signatures, 104 pages. I deliberately tried to not make her gator mouth, which is so difficult for me, but I did better this time than most. All right, so here we've got a vintage lady out of a 1934 McCall's magazine. This is a stamp that I had. We've got some tickets, some Timmy. Here we've got a little teeny tag with a jewel on it. We've got some vintage, well, it's not vintage. It's like some trim that I got from a woman that I no longer shop with, who shall remain nameless. Anyway, that's the first page. And then on the back, we've got, hey, stay still. And then on the back, we've got a blank page. Here, this is an envelope that I put a sticker on. You know what? Let's just change this around a little bit. She keeps moving. All right. And this has got just a sticker from, AliExpress or who knows where. I need to stick a little something in that hole. Here we've got a book page. I made a frame. I stamped on it, used some distress, not embossing powders, but distress glaze. And this is a stamp that I had. On the back, we've got nothing. We've got a couple pages with nothing on it. Very hard for me to do. Up here, we've got a glassine bag that I coffee dyed and stamped on. This small page, again, has a vintage woman from a McCall's magazine. This is just some ephemera I had in my stash. And this little tag here says, live in the moment. And on the back side, we've got nothing. Here we've got a cloth. I buy this from Selma Hood. And it's a cloth or a vintage couple that I put a little fabric stiffener on it so I could make more of a pocket out of it. And inside we've got that little tag there. And we've got a little tab here. This is just something I had in my stash. Flip it over, and she's got nothing. Nothing. This is a beautiful vintage paper from Brittany. I think it's like Niagara Falls, but way, way back in the day. Nothing on the back. This is a beautiful vellum image with a bird. It says nature. Over here, this is a Paris post. Is it Paris? Yeah, it's Paris with the postcard, and it's blank on the back. Over here, we've got a little bit of gesso. We've got some rub-ons. I did a little coffee dyeing or tea dyeing, some vintage lace right there. On the back is empty. And over here we've got, this is a stamp that I had that says Antiquities. It's got a couple of vintage buttons. And here, this is cut from a back of a Timmy packaging that you get. I put some glossy accents on it. My girlfriend Mimi did this before, and she taught me about it, and I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. I'm sorry. I'm chewing on some ice. This is a pocket. This is a pocket. In here we've got a glassine bag that has that same stamp that says vintage on it. And in here we've got like a fabric sampler. We've got a tag. And then at the top we've just got some vintage trims as well as a button and a cloth tab. I think that's muslin. And on the back side, we've got nothing. Little bit of splatter on that side. And this side is empty. Over here, we've got a page that's got some, it's held together by a rusty paper clip. And we've got some stamping and some ephemera. Over here, we've got a little bow. I don't know, I think this might be from Spectrum Art Creations, but I'm not positive. But I know this trim is from Brittany at Redeemable Junk. If you haven't checked her out, go do so. Redeemable Junk Sales. She's also got a Facebook group. You can check her out there. Here we've got just a stamped image that I kind of, it's a sticker. So I put part of it on one side and part on the other. And that's the back of that vintage postcard from Paris. Here's the other side of that vintage vellum with the bird. Here we've got a little frame that I made, like a specimen tag, and I put a vintage lady inside. It's got its acetate on the top. We've got some of that washi tape that's homemade that isn't homemade. Like, I didn't make it. I bought it somewhere. A couple of tags in here. We've got some, not creepy cloth, but, oh my god, every time I do a video, I forget what you call that. Well, anyway. And then we've done some stamping here and some stamping there. And we've got a vintage tag here that turns the page. And then on this one, we've got another rub-on. I did a little bit of stenciling. Yeah, it keeps wanting to fade in and out. Some vintage music paper. Another image out of that McCall's magazine. I did a little stenciling. That little tag says... can't read it. I don't have my glasses. And here we've got a little bit of stamping on a Timmy piece of ephemera. Here's the other side of that glassine bag that I stamped. And I will put something in that. Over here we've got a piece of French labels that I had somewhere. I put some Mod Podge on it, put it on this piece of paper, and we've got this beautiful floral down here with a tag that has a little stamping and a pretty green bead. Empty on that side, and on that, and on that. Here is the other part of that envelope, and I do have a, it's ledger paper, actually, from, like, the early 1900s from Redeemable Junk, and I put just a little piece of ephemera in there. That's not vintage or anything. This is vintage. This is from... let's see. It is an envelope that is dated 1939. It is just the envelope. There's not a letter in that particular one. And that goes there. And then you flip it. Do I have something? No, it's on this side. On this side, I've got a glassine bag with a little stamped image, a bulldog clip with this really pretty, beautiful charm. And then behind that glassine bag, I have an authentic piece of ephemera from 1916. And it is hay and straw. So I guess somebody's buying some straw. And that goes there. Over here, we've got a Timmy image, some of that washi tape. This pulls out, and it's like a little, there's a vintage tag. Be happy, be bright, but be you. And then inside is just a little teeny booklet. And we also have a vintage snap. And this is all some beautiful vintage lace. This is something that my girlfriend taught me, Mimi taught me how to do. It's with some alcohol inks and credit cards, and it's really, really cute. And then we've got this little, tag that I just coffee dyed and stamped on. This says journal here. And yeah, really pretty. Over here, we've got another fabric sampler. This is some vellum that I stenciled on. And then this is also a pocket. And inside, we've got some ephemera. I'm going to keep some goodies to myself so that the person that buys it is kind of surprised when they get it. Yeah, come on up. Why do you keep spinning? Hold on, technical difficulties. Good Lord have mercy. All right, here we go. This is a stamp that I had that I stamped on some fabric. A coffee dye glassine bag. Some more ephemera. This is a little tag that hangs from the top that I coffee dyed and did a little stamping on. This is a Tim Holtz die that I just sort of put on there to give it some texture and some interest. And here we've got some creepy cloth, some vintage ticking. I am a sucker for some vintage ticking. Over here we've got a mini CD holder, and inside, that's a stamped image. Inside we've got some ephemera. There's more ephemera down in there. Get in there. Oh well, that's going to go over the top for now. And that is held on by a just a bag, you know, that you can buy anywhere. Amazon, you name it, you can find those bags anywhere. Get back on there. Okay, or not. Here we've got, oh, look at that. This is a stamp that my girlfriend gave me. I love her. That is just sitting there. That is supposed to go in that bag. Here we've got some coffee dyed grid paper. We've got, I don't know what you call this. It's the neatest texture. It looks almost like hair or something. Coarse, but yeah, it's really cool. All right, so this is just a little piece of cluster that I used, and I glued it onto the end, and I put some ephemera kind of back behind that. Get in there. And on the back side is some Timmy paper. We've got a index card that I coffee dyed, and then I have some coffee crystals that I sort of threw on there, and they make this really cool looking texture. This is some Braille paper. Here we've got a little page holder there with some ephemera. This, I think, came from Timmy. I'm not positive. And then this, again, I'm not positive. I think Timmy. On some vintage music paper. Here we've got a little tab at the top. A bulb pin that holds a couple charms. Over here we just did a little stenciling. Again, one of those little labels that I stamped on and folded over. This is also some Timmy paper, so it's pretty thick. On the back side is vintage music. Here we've got this beautiful fabric image. This French saying that is, I have no idea what that says. I don't know, but it sounds like it's food, and it sounds like it's good. This, I think, is just a label that I had in my stash, as well as this whale tail label. And here is some vintage, I don't know, I want to call it tape measure paper, but I don't really know the exact name for it, but I stapled it on with my tiny attacher. Here is a sticker, black and white sticker with some numbers. Oh, and you got bent. We need to fix you. And it says, full of flowers. And then over here we've got another sticker, and this little phrase says, you owe it to yourself to do what you dream. Isn't that a pretty phrase? And then that's one of those stickers that you can get from, you know, over the pond. This is from a McCall's magazine, circa 1912. As is this saying. Excuse me. And then over here is the back side of that Timmy paper, and we did another little small collage with some vintage fabrics. On the back side is plain. Over here we've got just a little fold over. This is a vellum pocket, and I've stuck some vintage ephemera in that little pocket. On the back side, we just did a little collaging here on a ticket with a little, not creepy cloth, but you know what I mean. That thing. That one. Again, a vintage image from the McCall's magazines. And then I just did a little collaging here with whatever I had available. And also, again, at the top, we've got a bulb pin with some little tags, and I know there's a charm up there. Come here. Here we go. A little blue charm with, this is all, any of the fabrics you see in here, they're all vintage. Yeah. On the back side is plain except for some coffee dyeing, the back of the Braille paper. This is the back of the index card, again with some coffee staining. And there's where I use those crystals that makes that really cool pattern. Over here, this is a paper clip that lifts up. And underneath it, you've got some ephemera. I did some collaging on the front. And then on the back side of that is plain. And here's that fabric, that textural, I don't know what it is, but I love it. Here we've got another image. If you can't tell, that the theme of this book is vintage ladies, really. Because, I mean, I have been buying these magazines now for quite a while. I fussy cut them out. I back them on cardstock. And then I use them in my journals. So there are a lot of them in here. Here we've got some collaging, some vintage lace, that tag that says vintage, and then up here we've got some ephemera, a glassine bag, and then on the back you've got that coffee dyed grid paper, another one of those paper bags. This is a library card that I stamped with this stamped image that I recently purchased. She's beautiful. That image is so beautiful. And then this, I believe, is Lorna Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. Taylor Made Journals. She's got some beautiful stamps and papers. You need to check her out, too. On the back side is blank. And then here at the end, we've got another rub-on, another little bit of stenciling, a vellum butterfly, and inside we've got some goodies. And then the back is blank, and then that side is blank. And this is the back cover. So yeah, meet Priscilla. That is her. She is up for sale. She is $60. I prefer to ship only within the U.S., it becomes quite complicated otherwise, and it's so much money for you ladies. I always feel so terrible. I did not show this. On the spine, you've got this beautiful crystal and key that is dangled from the trim at the top on a bulb pin, and on the back, you have that coffee dyed vintage lace that I took off of a doily, and this is some excuse me, some Paris paper. Like it's a good heavyweight fabric. Did I say paper? I meant fabric. Well, y'all know what I meant. Anyways, all right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Reach out if you have any questions, comments, want to purchase, any of those things. I appreciate you watching. Everybody have a great day.